everyone, and welcome to Nerfcast. This is Sean.
And this is Josh.
All right, Josh, are you excited today?
I'm excited today.
What are you excited about?
Fireworks.
Well, I mean, we are recording on the 4th of July, but I'll tell you what, we got something even more exciting.
Oh?
We got the guys from Tek Recon on the podcast today.
Yeah, all right.
Dude, I'm so excited. I mean, fireworks are explosive, but these guys are exploding in a completely different way. It's blowing my mind. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Todd Anderson from Tek Recon, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, how's everybody doing? What's up, Bay Area Nerf?
Hey.
It's going great. We're really happy to have you on the show. I mean, we're super stoked. One of the big things, actually, for people who don't know Todd, he works with Tek Recon. Tek Recon is the latest and greatest blaster coming out right now. We'll get more into the technology in a little bit here, but Todd, why don't you let us know a little bit about your company, what you guys are doing, kind of like a quick little background. Like, how did the name Tek Recon even come about? How did you guys come up with that name?
You know, there was so many names that we considered when we kind of went about it, and the idea was always there about designing this line, but it really was sort of what we tried to capture, the sort of essence and the focus of the brand. So Tech is really kind of short for technology. You know, there's a ton of technology built into this, and as we sort of go through the launching mechanism and the ammo and all the key features, we really felt like technology was a real key aspect of the entire brand to really differentiate ourselves from everything else. And Recon is really first to sort of like a mission with like intel and data. And that's really how we envision the gameplay, especially with the app to sort of provide for the players. And really it's about, you know, you've got information, you've got intel, you've got the collaboration between a number of people. And again, very mission-based in gameplay.
That sounds amazing. I love that. So when you guys were this is really what I want to know, because Josh and I on the show, we always talk about origin stories and like how people got their names. Obviously, we just discussed that and got their start. So whose brainchild is Tek Recon? Who kind of like sat here and said, you know what, we need to come up with a new type of blaster? And what was kind of the reasoning behind it?
You know, it's funny because, you know, things sort of evolve out of sort of necessity. And I guess they say the mother of invention is necessity. But there's a lot of the the core team of Tek Recon are, you know, enthusiasts in blasters, in traditional guns. You know, a lot of people growing up had their own sort of rifle and did it in their spare time, etc. So there's always sort of that, you know, love for the projectile sort of category and that. And, you know, so everybody going through the paintballs and the airsofts and other soft projectiles, you know, the common thread between a lot of us on the team was that there was always something missing or it could always be a little more. And then as we start to talk through and brainstorm ideas and throw out blue sky concepts, you know, it became very clear, like, there's definitely something that we could do, that we could provide, develop, and generate for people like us that are looking for something sort of on a different level and something in between everything that's out there already.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we were just wondering. So the Tek Recon revolves around the blaster technology and digital technology. Was that sort of always something you guys had envisioned, or did you just start trying to make a blaster and said it would be really cool if we could integrate some, you know, sort of VR stuff in there?
Yeah, because you did mention that, like, when you were looking at some of the blasters on the market, you felt some things might not be perfect, not always there. Like, was that kind of the evolution where you came up with the blaster and you're like, you know what? We need to integrate this with, like, a video game virtual reality setup? Or was it like, oh, you know what? Let's create this add-on app that people can use with blasters. And you're like, you know what? The blasters on the market aren't good enough right now. We need to do something better. So what came first, chicken or the egg in that situation?
Chicken being the blaster came first. So, you know, first and foremost, our approach was always, it is and always a high performance blaster first and foremost. But, you know, a lot of us, you know, we have our mobile smartphones, we play games on it, we're into first person shooters, stuff like that. So there was always that sort of allure to combine the two into some sort of real life. So blaster came first, and looking at all those sort of aspects like, hey, what is it that we really want out of a blaster? So we said, okay, we want a high capacity ammo. We want like high performance, accurate shots, you know, rapid fire. We want to be able to indoor and outdoor play. We want ammo, you know, obviously it's got to be safe, but we want it reusable and mess free, that sort of stuff. And then came sort of the other side of it, the digital components. And, you know, looking at first person of gameplay and all the sort of features that you can build into that, and said, like, you know, again, wouldn't it be awesome if we could take all the great aspects of this first-person shoot 'em mobile play or console game, and combine it with the real-life play of a high-performance real-life blaster. And that's where sort of the light bulb went off and said, okay, like, this is different, this is exciting. And sometimes you really know, like, it just feels like the right thing to do, because you're like, as soon as the idea kind of pops in everyone's mind, ideas just start pouring out of everywhere. And the excitement starts to build, and you're like, okay, this is something that we really need to pursue and we need to develop. And that's really sort of how it all began.
Nice. So then, in that aspect, what do you think was the most difficult part of trying to combine those two things, the digital and the physical?
Both of those aspects have their own challenges, because the physical is, in the virtual world, anything can happen. In the physical world, you're bound by just laws of physics and gravity and energy and all sorts of stuff like that. But I think, we've made best use of how the ammo works and the mechanisms and all that to provide. But definitely there was, I will say, dozens of iterations and generations and prototypes made to get to the sort of final blaster design that we have now. And we will start posting, with you guys and our Facebook, just sort of some of the iterations and generations of earlier versions to kind of give you and the tribe and the fans, sort of a great idea of where we kind of came. I mean, this has been a 2 to 3 year journey of, development, not only in the physical world with the blasters, but in that digital world with the app development, and then putting those two together into one system that creates an experience that we believe is, unique and different to everything else that's out there, and just that we just truly love. And we are just, again, overwhelmed by the response we've had to date from the community and the tribe, which we love, and we just love how everything is going on with the feedback and all the response to it. So really the difficulty has been, there's been hundreds of issues that we've overcome, but again, I would say that it's always difficult to do anything the first time, but it is also so rewarding to get the feedback and to hear the response from what we're doing.
I mean, that's honestly what amazes me the most about you guys is obviously you have a fantastic product, but you guys are so open and so engaged with the community that we don't see from a lot of other providers out there of toy blasters.
Yeah, no, we've been loving seeing all the little things that you've been giving us and the community, just, little shots here, test fire, this and that. I mean, I'll love to see, I always love to see prototype stuff or things, designs that didn't work out, so and it's all really great info.
It's really great, and you don't see this coming from a lot of providers. Like, not to talk about your competition, but like, for example, Hasbro, they'll print on a box, this blaster gets 75 feet. You guys have your team go out there, albeit with flowers.
Hey, I like the flowers.
By the way, I did love that range test. As soon as I saw it, I reposted. I'm like, Josh, if we do range tests, can we start using long flowers? It'll be so pretty.
Yeah.
But just seeing that you guys are out there excited about your product, and you're like, you know what, we want to share what we have with the community and not just leave it up to the fans out there to just do it all for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something at least Josh and I appreciate.
Oh, totally.
And we appreciate hearing that too, and also we often said here in the team, what we get from the community is just invaluable, and to be able to work with the community that's supporting us and to help develop, like the next generation of Tek Recon ammunition and blasters. I mean, what could you ask for a better situation? We embrace that sort of open dialogue. Kind of what you see is what you get. We're pretty open. Like, we'll go out and do a blast range with some flowers, no problem, because that's what we had to mark off the ranges, and so we just really want to be sort of open, genuine, and honest, because that's really exactly what we're doing to develop and test and do all that. So, I would say to all the fans listening, just keep the dialogue going, and let's connect more and more to, we want to hear from you guys, what you like, what you don't like, what you're looking for, and to make Tek Recon, the brand, the community, and the line, the best it can be with everybody's help.
And that's definitely, at least Josh and I, what we do is we love to point at stuff and say, this is what we like, this is what we don't like.
Yeah.
And we're liking so far. Like, we don't want to inflate your ego too much on the podcast here, but we are loving what you guys are coming out with.
Yeah, it's that response. That back and forth is just amazing. It's great to have it from a company.
So speaking of feedback, one of the things I was kind of wondering personally is you guys have come out with 2 blasters right now, the Hammerhead and the Havoc.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious why you guys chose kind of like a pistol and then an assault rifle setup. Like, why are these the 2 blasters you guys decided to go with first?
I think, based on our background and sort of the way that we like to play, there's sort of a personal touch on it. But, we do, so it was important to offer sort of like the traditional pistol sort of form factor and the rifle. And it allows for a couple different things. Number one, everyone can kind of choose their setup. So, hey, I'm kind of like, I like the single pistol style, or I like the double pistol, or basically I like to have the primary rifle and then the secondary pistol as well, just in case. So we thought with two distinct blasters, one with being sort of single-handed, one double-handed, that we could offer sort of the most with a very sort of tight line for everybody to choose from. And, again, it kind of reflects the way we like to play as well. Like we saw, too, from sort of Kickstarter, the Havoc has really resonated with a lot of people. But, a close second is the Hammerhead. So, it's almost split down the middle between what people were looking for as far as a rifle-type form factor or the pistol.
Yeah, speaking of the Kickstarter, you guys had great success, it looks like, on there. You raised like $60,000, I think it was, within, you still had 7 days left of your goal time or whatever.
Yeah,
we'd love to hear more about the Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. Like I said, it was an unbelievable experience. First time, obviously, we had ever done something like that, but we thought it was just an excellent opportunity to kind of reach out to help sort of like get ourselves out there and to connect with the community. And that's what really happened in the 32 days of the campaign that we did. We talked to people all over the world that were, blaster enthusiasts on this, and they gave us great insight, great suggestions, support us with a pledge. And we honestly, we were humbled at the response, and we just think and overwhelmed by the response of it. But, keep in mind, I think it gave us just, a huge charge to just, barrel forward and say, yeah, this is exactly what we want to do. We love it. It's fantastic. There is support for it, and let's just forge forward on it. And to hit our goal of $50,000 and beat it actually before the campaign was up was just unbelievable. Our goal was like, okay, well, let's go and let's get the word out. We'll just talk to everybody, and we're gonna, just do the best we can out here and offer as much as we can for what we have going. And it was just it was a fantastic campaign, and we couldn't be happier. And now we have, so many people that we're in contact with through just the campaign, and it's really helped us move things forward as far as launching the brand later this year.
Yeah, one of the things from the consumer end, because I donated to your Kickstarter, I'm very excited to see the blasters come in. I did I think it was called the Squad Leader Pack, where you get 4 Hammerheads, the 2 scannable targets, the scannable flags, and then the exploding targets as well. Very excited for those to come in. But I love that throughout the experience, people were asking questions like, oh, can I get this blaster on top of it as well? You should come out with new packages that do this and this. And you guys were quick to respond on that. You guys went there's like, okay, this is what the people want. How do we accommodate them and try and make it work with them? And even towards the end, I saw Kickstarter was kind of mean and was like, hey, you guys can't do what you were trying to do for certain things. And you're there trying to help the fans out, of course. You know what? If you want to get the Squad Leader Pack and a Havoc as well, just PM us, let us know. Which sounds like a lot of work on your guys' end too, to sit there and read all the messages and be like, okay, blah 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 blah. They want this, they want this, and then afterwards having to go back and say, hey guys, just want to give you an update. Kickstarter's being a little bit edgy on that. They don't want us to do certain things, which wasn't your fault at all, but.
Yep.
You guys email everyone, let them know, hey, if you want to change your donation back to whatever it was, or if you want to just leave the extra money, do that. We just want to let you know. You guys were upfront, honest, and I feel like there's a good level of transparency that we don't see from other toy blasters out there.
Mm-hmm. And I think it goes hand in hand with the flower range. Flower decorated range. And that was it. I mean, yes, we got in a little hot water during the campaign a few times. But, again, it was all because we just wanted to, work with the community, and people were pledging us and supporting us. And we felt, we're going to do as much as we can within the guidelines that be, to support them in return. And so we appreciate that. It's, just, I think part of our DNA is how we're approaching, the brand and the way that we want to interact with the community, and, support goes two ways. And I think that's, our attempt to show that, that's, a key focus and a key value for us.
Or it could be you guys are Canadian, just nicer than all the American companies.
Yeah.
That could be a big part of it.
We're just doing the best we can. Happy 4th of July, by the way. We really, happy Independence Day to you guys.
And happy 4 days late Canada Day?
Yeah, no problem. Similar holiday, just a few days earlier.
There we go.
Yep. Like, when I heard it was Canada Day, I'm like, there's a Canada Day? Like, I know there's like a Thanksgiving that happens in October, which blows my mind. And apparently, going off on a random tangent, Oktoberfest isn't in October. It's in September.
It spills into October.
It goes into October, but I would expect Oktoberfest to start in October.
I think the commercialization started early. It's like, why run it for a few weeks where you can run it for even longer?
Yeah, and it was just too cold out there, I think, was a part of it. But anywho, back on subject.
Yep. Back on subject.
One of the things I actually noticed, Josh noticed this, because he is a grammatical man. We noticed that the blaster's name, Havoc, Hammerhead.
Oh, yeah.
They all start with the letter H. Mm-hmm. When you guys make new blasters, are you going to make more H-name blasters?
It just turned out that way. So I would say future names wouldn't necessarily begin with an H, but Hammerhead and Havoc, they were actually the original names that we kind of came up with, sort of as we went through the brainstorm, and those things sort of came to the top of. Hammerhead was sort of implied kind of like you think of the shark. It had unique shape like a hammerhead shark, but, it kind of had a bite with teeth, so it was kind of like Hammerhead's not the biggest shark, but they're definitely one of the most dangerous. So it's kind of like, okay, this is cool. It sort of alludes to the name. And Havoc, it was just the idea of having sort of like a bigger blaster, and, the idea of it's creating like some sort of havoc or, all sorts of chaos in the game field or during battle. We thought was an awesome idea to sort of invoke with a blaster. So what we wanted to do was sort of infuse a bit of an identity and personality into each blaster, and we'll continue to do that in future models that we release. Barring the sort of it has to start with an H, but at the same time, we think, we keep with the same sort of approach that each blaster is going to be unique in its own. It will have its own sort of personality to it, and we'd like to sort of keep with that approach in design development.
So speaking of personality of a blaster, one of the things I noticed during the Kickstarters, you had special edition colors being released out to people who donated more, which I'm jealous of those people. I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I couldn't afford. I wanted to get the battle pack so all my friends could experience it, but the orange, or what were the other colors? There's black. There was, you'll probably remember better than me.
Special edition orange, and then some special edition metallic black ones as well. We always like the idea of coming out with some limited edition stuff, which is really cool because it kind of makes things a little more rare, but it also allows us to kind of make sort of a bit of a cool design development statement within the line. And it's something that we would continue to do sort of each year. We figure is to sort of come out with some really neat sort of limited run because for some reasons, mass production makes it difficult to do, but to make some really cool pieces that a few people can get their hands on and just keep things sort of neat, interesting, and exciting as far as that.
Yeah, that's something I know personally. A lot of people out there in the mod community, of course, they like to open up their blasters and make changes to stuff, but what I see mostly is people doing paint jobs, reshells, just trying to make their blaster more customized. So I like the idea that, especially if it's limited edition in the future, that you can only get certain colors during certain periods, and then you have a blaster that fits for you, and you feel like
elite,
unique,
exactly,
a special flower.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we know for sure, too, that customization is a part of what a lot of people like to do, whether it be their blaster or their car or anything else they own. So we think it's pretty cool. Although we don't condone modding, we do recognize it does happen out there with some existing brands.
Yeah, and I think the good news for you guys, just the performance I've seen and how I haven't opened up your blaster, obviously, so I don't know what it looks like on the inside. But generally speaking, I feel like people mod a blaster when they're unsatisfied with performance.
Yeah.
And just the way I've heard. Well, let's talk about some of the details of the blaster because we haven't really talked about that yet. So let's start with like the hammerhead. When you're talking about how it works, how it functions, it's not just pump. It's not just trigger. It's a combination of both. What are some of the really cool features you guys are proud of for developing for the Hammerhead and the Havoc?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a great question. What we the original versions, and we'll have some subsequent sort of pictures and images posted, was things about just a trigger. But the pump action, it's kind of either or. And so it's sort of the ability for people to choose the styles, like, hey, I want to go two-handed and use the pump feature, or actually want to use the trigger. So they're both linked to the same locking mechanism, but it's two separate firing. So we're really proud of having those sort of dual firing devices on that. Number two is key features like a real trigger that some actually don't have, but also the recoil. So you get that sort of a really nice, realistic effect to that. So it gives you sort of nice positive visual and an audible of each time you fire, and I think it just sort of heightens the game experience when you're playing, just to bring in that cool aspect. Things like the obviously the high ammo capacity. So in the size of the Hammerhead blaster, the clip that fits inside the handle will hold 25 energy rounds. So, and there's also a dual lever release. So it works with right and left-handed people as a thumb release.
Nice.
So you get a quick release, you get a quick load, and you get high capacity ammunition, 25 shots, which we're really proud of. One other key feature that we really love is the power selector as well. So this allows you to sort of dial in the power that you want to put into the blaster. So you can sort of have longer range shots, or you can dial it down to short range and actually get even more rapid fire performance out of it. So we really thought that was fantastic way for people to dial in and tailor the gun sort of on a settings sort of way to tune in the game, tune into the product and the game that they wanted to as well. So, and again, on top of all that, it's a blaster first and foremost, and then bring in the app, and actually the smartphone phone integration. So bringing that in with a heads-up display and all the features on that as well. The ammunition, it was, although not as complicated as the blaster, it still took, several iterations. I mean, I think there was 20 different designs, shapes, durometers, and sort of texturing of the energy rounds that we went through to actually kind of land on what we think is the optimized as far as ammo capacity and performance for this as well. So that was, we'll have a few images that we'll provide as two online to sort of the evolution of the energy rounds for you guys to look at as well.
So kind of a random aside here. When you guys came up with the name NRG rounds, obviously it's an acronym, but what does the acronym stand for real quick?
Well, it's actually a play on words. So when we said an energy round, it originally kind of stood for, all the energy that propels each round is actually stored in each round. So that's to say is each round stretches, and what you're doing is there's essentially potential energy in every round because it's elastic. And when you pull it, you actually build up the potential energy inside it. And once it's released, that potential energy turns into kinetic energy, which means it's now moving. So essentially, there's sort of self-propelled energy rounds with the right launcher. But we also did a play on it to say, well, what's the best way to actually describe the round? And it's like energy, basically, no mess, reusable, game safe. So again, that sort of talks about the features and also the benefits of the round on this as well. So, sort of that play on words, energy for it as well. But it really does sort of go back to the original sort of science and physics behind the round, but also sort of the features and benefits that provide to everybody in gameplay.
So the reason I asked that question is 2 days ago I was talking to Josh, and he's like, Sean, I just got it. And I'm like, got what? It's like NRG. It stands for energy.
So I'm reading this online, and I keep going like NRG in my head. And then when I said it out loud, then I was like, oh, it sounds like energy. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
You are the smartest kid in this class, Josh. Like, the first time I saw it, I was like, clearly they're going for an acronym to make it sound like energy. And you're just like, nope. NRG, that's a weird word.
Well, I mean, I thought it stood for something, and it does, but, I was just like, NRG. Oh,
there you go.
No problem. We actually, on the retail packages, it'll be on the back panel as well, and just sort of explain a little more about the rounds. So, but that's good. I'm glad to hear that. We like the sort of the dual play of words on it.
Yes, Josh does now too.
Yes, I do.
Now that he realizes it's a dual play. I'm so proud of you sometimes. I just want you to know that.
Way to go, Josh.
Thank you. Speaking of the energy rounds, what is the impact sort of like? Because I know that that's something that people in the community have talked about before with either things are too sort of devastating or you just can't feel them if you're tagged with them. So
yeah. To put on a scale, I think that the easiest way for everyone to understand is that the impact would be greater than a soft dart, but less than an airsoft.
Nice.
I think if it helps kind of there. I will say, complete transparency and honesty, I have been shot in the eye at a distance of 4 to 5 feet away with it. And, no mark. I felt it, but it was not like this is a serious injury. It was like, oh, wow, I got hit. Whoa, okay. And I laughed it off. And it was actually, we were shooting the Kickstarter video. And Graham actually shot. I said, shoot at the camera. It's going to be awesome. And the fourth shot, which is the shot after we stopped the edit, I actually got pinged in the right eye. And he bullseyed me right there. And but I will say it felt like someone kind of gave me a flick in the eye. But I will say, it didn't leave a mark. I felt it, but it was sort of the perfect impact of you feel it, but it doesn't hurt. So kind of firm and soft. So I would say, again, just sort of greater than a soft dart, but less than an airsoft, kind of right in the middle.
That's great to hear because I know you guys said you aren't for modding really, but we've talked to Basic Nerf on the show before, and I believe he mentioned a story where one of his friends was no, that wasn't Basic Nerf. Sorry, that was another player we play with, who mentioned that he was running around with modded blasters in a room and someone shot someone else in the eye. And they couldn't see out of that eye for like 2 weeks because it was a modded blaster and it might have even had washers at the tip.
Yeah,
that's the thing that blows my mind because the energy rounds sound like a good combination and a good middle ground because of how they work.
Yeah, like exactly.
When we talk about people trying to get performance by putting metal in their darts or ammo, I'm like, there's clearly something wrong with how you're designing your ammo. People have to do this to get something just to shoot straight at the distances you're promising on the package. And obviously I haven't used either of the blasters yet, but just the concept of how rubber band an NRG blaster would work. It seems like it'd be very accurate, less likely to fishtail or have wind resistance, deal with issues. It seems like it'd be an overall accurate blaster that I wouldn't really see the same necessity to go in and mod for. It seems like performance out of the box would be about where you want to be, and if you want to adjust, hey, there's a way to toggle for distance or rapid fire.
Yeah.
We would expect to see modding out there, but what we try to do is to really provide sort of the best experience possible. Obviously, it has to be toy tested, so there's certain regulations that we adhere to. But again, we want everyone to have an awesome experience with with all the products. But again, I mean, be safe. They say it's only fun till someone loses an eye, but it's we've developed it to be game safe. Like I say, I've taken one in the eye, and again, there's just I'm proud to say that you're going to feel the shot. You're going to be able to detect that you got hit, but it's not going to hurt in the way that other projectiles have. Typically like a paintball.
No, that's definitely a plus because I know Josh and I run games, and there's commonly a dispute with players where they're like, oh, I got you. No, I didn't feel it, so you must not have gotten me.
Right.
And it's like you would think you can feel it, but in the heat of battle, sometimes a more solid connect is a good thing. That way you can feel when you're getting hit. So that's something I look forward to personally.
Oh, definitely.
Everyone on the Tek Recon team has definitely taken turns getting shot. So it's been field tested for sure with all the team members. And it's like, yeah, you want to be able to feel that you got shot, or, it's like, Rhino, I got you in the back of the leg. I didn't feel it. That always happens. And so we hope that this, it's firm enough to detect a shot, but again, it's not leaving, it obviously is not going to leave welts or marks or, have any sort of negative impact like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, so moving on now to the actual, one of the biggest features that I feel like a lot of different publications are interested in, the app that adds all these new elements and features to gameplay. We would love just to, basically, I want to hear more about this app. I saw the video you guys posted earlier, and I was very excited to watch that, but what are some of the challenges you encountered with developing the app? Like, what are some goals you knew had to make it in there, and you're proud came out in the final product?
A big thing, The biggest sort of aspect and key feature we wanted to include was obviously connectivity between team players. So we really envision this to be collaborative play. So we're really proud of the features that really enhance that sort of gameplay. So the radar function that allows you to track all of your team members in real time. Things like the live chat that allow you to speak to your team members in real time throughout the battle. So you can be in remote locations, you're seeing them on the radar and say, okay, you flank them from this side, I'll charge them up here, I'll lay down some cover fire, and you really get to build sort of tactical play in real time during a ever-changing sort of game situation. And we just love that sort of dynamic aspect that offers. Things like the ammo counter is great because, you've always got you know exactly when you're about to drop out of your clip so that you're not sort of standing out there exposed, firing off rounds and about to shoot your last one while you're standing there. So you know when to sort of duck and cover and do a quick reload, on things like that. And just really cool features like customizing it, change your scope, change your vision mode and things like that to really sort of tailor it, like what is the game experience that you want? Here's a whole bunch of different options that you can choose to customize your experience versus somebody else to get the most play and the most fun out of each and every game.
Oh, I'm so excited about this app. Like every time I hear something about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait to run games.
It's exciting for us too, like we're getting new builds every week. It's like, oh, here it comes. Like, oh, it's here. Dump the other one, load up the other one, let's go. And, it's like, okay, let's create a game. Let's run around, get going, and really there's a real excitement every time another build comes out that we can start to run it through its paces and check out a new feature that got added or, the development team is great, and to ask for something, to say, oh, it'd be awesome if it did this, and next week you get a build that it does do that. It's like, wow, this is fantastic. I mean, it really is so much fun and rewarding to see sort of this whole development process sort of take place and take shape, and then you put into sort of into field test gameplay that we're doing now. So it's really been a fantastic sort of experience to go through that. And it's really exciting. We can't wait to share it in a few short weeks with everybody.
Dude, that's it's just amazing. We had some other questions about the app and sort of how it works, so I don't know how much detail you guys can go into. Anything that you can't reveal, we understand. So one of the things we were wondering was how the app works in terms of connectivity. So 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi.
Exactly. So it works in both modes. So you can work on cellular, so 3G, 4G, or LTE, depending on the area that you're in, or you can also connect by Wi-Fi. So obviously, if you're on cellular, you're going to run some cellular data on it, but the data isn't. I mean, just doing a quick test on sort of data, you can send a live chat for like 20 kilobytes, something like that. So just give you an idea of sort of that. It's pretty small, and everything's going to run through the server. So the app is just the sort of terminal that's going to just shoot back little pieces of data back to the server. So as you start to log in and rack up game time and all sorts of stats, your login will just and your smartphone will actually just send data back to the server to basically collect and hold that. So it's available in both sort of cellular and Wi-Fi, which is great. And again, GPS has to be enabled for the functional radar. So obviously there may be environments that's Wi-Fi. It's just similar as any other environment where you don't have the greatest cellular signal or Wi-Fi signal or whatever that can affect the gameplay. But we are building sort of monitors so that people will know, hey, you don't have the greatest Wi-Fi signal right now. We should suggest you actually find a stronger signal so that people can get the best gameplay out of the app and not be sort of, I'm not too sure what's happening, it's not working. So we're trying to build in as much as possible to ensure that people can easily detect if there's an issue with the environment they're playing in. The app can alert them of that, and they can make the changes to get the game back online.
That's crazy. Like, crazy good. I mean, not, it's surprising because I feel like a lot of times when people talk about blasters and stuff like that, there's an older demographic. You have people like Josh and me who want to play, college students who do like HVZ and stuff like that. But to hear that you guys have gone to the level of detail where people usually only fantasize about getting these features, having a live radar that uses GPS to track the other players, voice communication with other players. It just seems like you guys are blowing the competition out of the water, because a couple of other companies out there have developed similar like laser tag systems or like augmented reality systems, but just what I see you guys doing, it's what people want, and it's just really cool on my end to see you guys executing it actually instead of just talking about it. That's what gets me excited about it.
Yeah, I think really sort of seeing the vision come to reality has been just unbelievable. And, when we first looked at it, again, it's first and foremost a blaster. So we do see it as like, we always envision it to be physical play. And then when this whole digital component came into sort of the works as like, hey, we could really do this. Then we just saw it as, hey, it is like a fantastic blaster on its own, but let's take it to the next level and put a digital layer on top of it to just completely provide a new gaming experience for everybody. And then that became an entirely new sort of animal itself to build in, okay, what do we want the app to do? Like, when you think about it, it was a completely clean slate of development. So what is it we want to include? What is it we want to do? And just start to develop it, through the developers on that.
So right now, we know that Capture Flag obviously is a game mode everyone's excited about. That's pretty much the core game mode, I feel, when you're doing kind of like tactical blaster games. Are you guys planning on doing any other game mode types, like, say, like King of the Hill or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a couple. So there's obviously sort of the solo play where you can go out and just sort of do some training for that as well. There's Capture the Flag and also Supremacy. So it's kind of like which we're calling the game mode, which is sort of like every person for themselves. So, you can go out and it's just like, you're in a game, but it will actually, sort of last person standing on that as well. So we really see it as we're coming out with sort of 3 core game modes for the first generation or evolution of the app, but expect to see more game modes be added in future builds, later on.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
I'm excited about that. That's
everything we've wanted. I mean, we've talked about things like this before in our games, just in the last, few years. Like, how cool would it be to be able to talk on your phone or track people via GPS and then run games, and it's all just right there in the app.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, to me, what really blows my mind kind of is that the app is free.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to point that out right now. Like, you guys, this is an app where I'm an enthusiast, so obviously I'm not everyone, but this is an app that seems like it would take a lot of time and manpower to create. And the fact that you're releasing it for free to just people who use your blasters, I mean, it's great. It's fantastic. That's probably one of the more exciting things about it is you get this integration and there's a low barrier entry for other players, because most people have digital devices nowadays, either a cell phone, maybe like an iPod with GPS. I don't know how iPods work anymore because I'm an adult and have a phone, and I just use that for everything. But you're using devices people already have to create this digital layer, you said, over the physical blaster to enable players to get what they want, and that's just awesome.
I mean, it really, I think, to your point, a lot of people have thought about it, and I think it's just more, that everyone says, okay, well, let's do it. And, obviously we're going to plan to have some special, features and stuff like that people can purchase otherwise. But I mean, the full gameplay with the free app, is going to be offered, in a couple of weeks when it goes out. And the one thing is that, the Tek Recon blasters, each and every one of them is designed to work with the app. So, it really is sort of dependent on playing with the physical blaster, because the actuators that we actually have built into the blasters to actually physically touch your mobile smartphone during gameplay is what really is the actuator for, the shots and the sounds and the shot fires on that as well. But we really tried to build in as simple interface as possible with like a one tap on, one tap off as you navigate. Because when you're in gameplay, and again, just trying to put ourselves, you're in the middle of game battle. Do you really want to be going through menus and sub-menus and all sorts of stuff trying to do it while someone's sneaking up on you to blast you from behind?
Right.
No, you want to be like, okay, I'm still got my finger on the trigger and I'm adjusting my heads-up display as I'm firing. That is the goal, So go into zoom mode, switch your vision mode. You can fire while you're sending out a live chat. So like everything can be happening concurrently in real time. And what we think is just to create this unbelievable dynamic gameplay that everybody can, again, customize to their own liking. But again, just take their current play to the next level with both the physical blaster and the digital app as well.
Yeah, speaking of bringing combat to the next level, I heard during the last interview you did with My Last Start that there might be potential for tournaments. So I was just kind of curious. Obviously, if it's still in the planning stages, I understand completely. But how would you guys execute such a tournament? Like, would you guys have like a score base that's relayed through the app? Would you guys be running actual tournaments yourselves, like in person? How would that work?
Yeah, so tournaments is definitely one of our focuses going forward on as well. I can't say a whole lot about it right now, but we will have some more things rolling out in early fall on this one as well. But we will be utilizing both the abilities for people to log into, to join the Tek Recon community and to be part of sort of a leaderboard that people can sort of record all of their performance, all of their activity, all of the number of games that they're actually involved in for this as well. So again, there will be more information on that further, but tournaments is definitely one of those, definitely a part of the gameplay that we are in the midst of developing.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of us are competitive out there, and one of the best things about video games is you can brag on the internet and be a big man or woman.
Go. Speaking of the internet, humans versus zombies. It's kind of popular with teens, college-age adults. I say college-age kids, but I'm old apparently. I don't know if you guys have heard of HVZ or Humans versus Zombies. Have you talked to that community at all or looked into it? Because a lot of them are talking about how they're going to use or might want to use Tek Recon blasters in their games.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely recognize there's a huge popularity, right, of the HVC right now. Tek Recon right now, just as we're in our launch, is focusing just on sort of providing great blasters and the digital component as well. Obviously, we actually think that Tek Recon is one of, the best choices for sort of a human versus zombies game. We don't have plans currently in the first year to bring out a human versus zombies sort of themed set or anything like that. But we obviously, we think that the ammo, the blaster, and all the tech would just bring any sort of, human versus zombie gameplay, again, sort of up a notch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people, as soon as they saw that you can basically fire without having to prime the blaster, and it's just slim form factor, that people were all over this saying this would be great to use at our games. So
yeah, let me tell you how hard it is trying to carry around. Was it? I run with 5 magazines from Nerf, the 18-round mags. It takes up so much space.
Yeah.
I'm like a packer. I'm like, you hear the shaking, shook whenever I'm running with it.
Yeah.
So just the hammerhead alone having 25 rounds inside of it.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, I can blast for days with that.
Yeah. The Havoc will have a max capacity of 72.
It's ridiculous.
Just to put in perspective, you could probably put 400 rounds in, your left jean pocket.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh.
And so you know what could go in your right jean pocket, another 400. So, it's the whole goal is to take the whole ammo constraint or restriction out of the equation and just go, hey, you should be able to ammo should not be an issue. And, that's the whole, one of the approaches behind the whole design to the energy round.
Yeah, on the subject of ammo, I mean, obviously you're going to have ammo and magazines or clips released separately, but do you have any plans for other accessories? I know because you guys have the sort of the AR phone and mobile device integration that you're probably not going to be needing scopes, but any plans for just anything else that attaches to people like attachments?
Josh likes buying things.
Or just other stuff for the Tek Recon brand. I don't know, melee stuff. Well, who knows? Just wondering if you've had thoughts.
So, exactly. So for our launch season, which is this fall, we're including, ammo packs, which include more clips, more ammo. You can get ammo tubes, where you're just 25 packs of just more energy rounds. We have built-in sort of future development. You'll see a very key feature on the top of the barrel, the Havoc, that may lend itself to some feature expansion. That we want to keep open for that as well. And, just as we lay out sort of our next year's product line that we're in the midst of right now, definitely looking towards, expanding the line with more game-enhancing, accessories for that as well. So I can't say too much about the stuff that's going on in the R&D lab right now, but definitely expanding the line with more game enhancing accessories is a focus for us.
Awesome.
So here's my idea: you get a big old sword, and then you get a foam mount on there for the sword. I don't know where to go from there, but I just want a giant sword with a phone on it. I'm just going to duct tape a phone and just launch your app. I'm like, there you go, guys. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to combat.
I'll say thanks for the idea. Maybe won't appear in the next year's line.
There we go. You're going to create the Sword of Omens.
You should make my horrible ideas because I told you about them first.
John's on record. That's his idea. For the next foreseeable future, we are going to concentrate on blasters right now in sort of that form. But we're excited to see how Tek Recon evolves ourselves. As we have more brainstorms and the community reaches out and we work with more ideas and new insights come in. It's definitely we're as excited as everyone else is to see what the future holds for it.
Definitely, we're just as excited. So. Just real quick, we want to get a couple more key points in there. So where can you buy the Tek Recon blasters when they're released?
So Tek Recon is happy to announce that Tek Recon will be on shelves this fall in North America. So for Canada and the U.S. And then we have plans to go global in 2014. And they're going to be available, so we'll be at major retailers, so sort of the Walmarts and the Toys R Us, where you would find other soft projectile blasters. We're going to be on retail as well. So we're really pleased to announce that as well, that we will be on shelf very soon at a major retailer near everybody that can pick these up.
Awesome. And then as far as, for example, do you have any pricing information about how much the blasters are going to cost when they come out?
Yeah, so the Hammerhead set, the basic set on that, which will include the Hammerhead, energy rounds, the clip, the mobile phone mount on this as well, will be $24.99, which is sort of our MSRP, our suggested retail price. And then the Havoc will be, anywhere from $35 to $40, just depending on the retailer. And then the Battle Pack, which is 2 Hammerheads, a green and orange, will retail for around the $50 mark.
Nice.
Oh, I like it. I like that right out the gate they're going with different colors.
Yeah.
So you can distinguish teams.
And the Battle Pack will include the exploding targets, so it's a really great sort of key feature on that as well. We're really excited with those. We think they're great sort of training stuff, but you can always set it up in gameplay as well, and then obviously with the digital flags for that as well. One thing too, just to point out on the digital flag, so sort of have a green team, orange team set up right now. And the digital flags will be such that you can switch it. So when you get a flag in the battle pack, you'll be able to sort of choose if you want to designate it as the green team or the orange team. And you just do that with 2 different inserts that go into the digital flag base, and they each have their own digital glyph or design that the app will read to register whether it is the green team flag or an orange team flag.
Oh, nice.
That's really cool.
And customize your game. I want to be green. Okay, you get into another gameplay. It's like, okay, well, it'll be orange this time, and just switch it.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
God, I'm really stoked for this stuff to come out. Let me tell you. I've been bugging Josh about the whole time, like, dude, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
We're stoked. You guys are stoked, really. Again, the community, everybody, and all the feedback that we've got, that was such a fantastic thing about the Kickstarter campaign. Is just how we connected with people all over the world, just that were so enthusiastic about what we were doing. And that just gave us such a charge to say, like, there's just something, we really believe there's something special here. And we cannot not continue with this. We just got to push it forward ahead and get this stuff to market. And let's just, offer such a great, unique gaming experience for everybody. We're really, really excited about it.
Awesome. So, Todd, any final remarks before we close out the podcast?
Well, again, goes without saying, happy 4th of July to each and every one of you guys, and we really appreciate the time. But we just want to say, keep the dialogue open. Check us out on Facebook. Look for us. We'll be out promoting, try to help build the community as well. Reach out to us, for the Kickstarter backers, yourself as well, Sean. We really appreciate it. We really couldn't have done it without the community that's supporting us, and we are just out to make Tek Recon the best brand that it can be in the category. We really think that we're creating a new way to play with our blasters, our ammunition, and our digital layer on this as well. And we really want to include the community to help us shape the future of this brand. We really mean that.
That's fantastic to hear.
Oh, yes, it is.
So once again, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. We
Yeah,
were so happy to get this information. I know the fans are going to appreciate it, just the level of transparency that you guys have for your product. It's what gets us excited about that we can see all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes and from the scenes.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, taking time out to talk with us, and love having you on the show.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all the listeners out there, too.
No problem.
Thank you. Well,
guys, thank you for joining us once again. And from all of us here at Nerfcast, happy tagging.
Happy tagging.
Cheers.